Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to World at Work Comics. My next guest, coming back for the second time, Mr. Chris O'Hara with Artificial, issue number 2, which is a Kickstarter right now. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But, Chris, how have you been since the last time we spoke?
Been good. Very, very, very busy,
Yeah,
but good. Not in a bad way. Busy in a very good way.
in a
So,
very good
but
way.
yep.
We are starting to see, hopefully, we're not giving too much away, but at the end of issue 2, BentBox is doing a lot of different stuff, man. So, congratulations on
Yeah.
that. I'll let you talk to that if you want to, but boy, man, there's some pretty cool stuff coming up, I think, from BentBox outside of Artificial, which is already pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a bunch of, I think I might have said this last time, but I'm a dreamer and like I tend not to dream small. So like typically if I'm doing something, I'm like just doing everything I can for it. So ADHD in me really kicks in high gear. Um, my wife loves it.
I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah, but it's been great, and we do have a lot of huge plans coming for BentBox. Like we've been hitting the ground hard when I meant busy earlier. We've been hitting cons. We're kind of boots on the ground marketing. I've never tabled at a con really before, so this year, John and I, my partner John, who some of you might know as the author of like The Last Wand and Wingless and a couple other ones that are coming up. I've mentioned him previously, but we kind of said, if we're going to do this, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we booked like a con a month. Some months I think we had two cons this year, and it's been a lot. I I don't
I
want
sense
to.
a small regret in how much you kind of
No,
into
not at
it.
all. No, no. Never make a bad decision. That's not me. But I mean, I don't want to commit to the statement that I overreached.
Yeah.
However, it's been busy.
Yeah.
But we've been having a lot of fun. We just went to the Taku Fest. Definitely not necessarily our demographic. Not necessarily our demographic, but we just don't have any manga really yet. John had something called Heathen, which is like a westernized manga, so that actually sold pretty well. Artificial did pretty well. I was very proud of the reception there at Otaku Fest, which is primarily an anime event down in Miami.
Hmm.
That all said, like you mentioned, we have a ton of stuff we're trying to do now with BentBox. We have Orium, which is the guy we're publishing, who's originally from Scotland. It's awesome having his book with us now, and we're selling that, and it's an awesome story. And so we're looking to get more into publishing. And then obviously John and myself are just creatives, so we keep writing. So we have a ton of ideas, and now I'm writing a manga mainly because I went to a Otaku Fest and I saw all the really cool stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd never gotten into that, so now that's a little, I'm definitely not overreaching. I don't know why anyone would suggest that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Artificial, right? So issue 2 came out, I guess it was maybe middle of last year. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, yeah. We kind of finished it up early last year. Kickstarter
Yeah.
happened, yeah, basically first quarter. Ended
Mhm.
up shipping it out around second quarter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a little bit of a time has gone by, but yeah, issue two's out.
Issue 2 is out, and I got a sneak peek of it, and I could tell you, Artificial issue 1 was amazing. And the last time you were on the podcast, we were talking about the art, and the art is stunning in issue 1. When you see issue 2, like like you said, the leveling up from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
The artist name again, one more time, Chris?
Gabriel Fonseca out of Brazil.
Incredible. Um,
Yeah.
and when you see issue 2, after seeing 1, which is a stunning piece of work, and then you see issue 2, you're like, boy, he really gained a lot of skills in that short period of time that he put on paper. Maybe he always had it, but maybe the story lent to it. But man, and it's like 36 pages, right?
Yeah, same as I believe
Yeah.
same as the previous one. We're kind of sticking to a general 36 pages. I think issue three I've already finished writing. I think that's around 32.
Mhm.
So typically over 30 for these.
Incredible.
But yeah, we off stream I said he leveled up, and I don't know. if it's because of like confidence, because I know before, that was his Artificial One was his first comic he's ever done.
Hmm.
And, he killed it. And all I would do is puff him up. You know what I mean? I would just sing his praises, till the cows come home.
Yeah.
And then he, I think I'm hoping that kind of started a fire under his rear end and he just like kicked off. And he
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm just gonna go into full gear now because
Yep.
he killed it in issue 2. And I've said that to a couple people, like, I was extremely proud of issue 1. The art was just so well done, and I was impressed with finding Gabriel and him working with me. And then we get into issue 2 and we're like halfway through, and like I mean, obviously I'm as a writer, I've planned a handful of the pages
Yeah.
to be kind of like there's one page in there that I feel like you need to be on acid to really appreciate. And then there's so like I'm writing
Definitely
it
a
in a
little bit
way.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm writing it in a little bit of a way to allow Gabriel to have fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of what a lot of our meetings are, is like, dude, just have fun. I was like, here's my very basic description of this panel. Do just have fun, because it always comes across as like, oh, this is a really cool, interesting panel. The artist must have really enjoyed drawing it. You know what
Right.
I mean? So that was my goal for the entire comic, was just to allow him to have fun.
Yeah.
And I think it shows. And I've said this to multiple people. I'm like, I love issue 1. Issue 2 kicks the crap out of issue 1. It just does.
It
And
does.
I'm hoping we continue that trend. We'll
That's
see.
okay. That's okay
Yeah,
then.
it's not a
That's
bad trend to continue. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, who's doing the colors? Because the colors is really incredible as well.
Yeah, so that's Sergio Martinez from Mexico. He's a very talented guy. He is definitely not as green as Gabriel was. He's done like work in game design and comics and tons of other different mediums. So, but I found him, loved his stuff, kind of tasked him with not replicating, but at least making, basically, Gabriel did everything on issue 1. He did inks, colors, letters. Now, that might have been me pushing him too hard. As much as he loved doing it, and he was proud of it, and it turned out really well. He basically said, he's like, this could be more efficient, which it definitely could. Ink goes straight to colorist, and then bam, we're getting it done much quicker.
Yeah.
So after he said it, he's like, I wouldn't mind coloring it. He goes, but it's just going to take a while. And I
Yeah.
said, that's fair. So we basically went on the hunt for a colorist, tested Sergio a couple times, trying to get him to hone in on Gabriel's original style. That way it wasn't jarring.
Mhm.
Like you read issue 1 and then you open issue 2 right away. Like if some people did that at the con, they were unfamiliar with the IP.
Yeah.
So they bought issue 1 and issue 2, and they're going to read issue 1 and then go to issue 2. And I don't want them to have whiplash. You know what I mean? So we kind of did a pretty good job at that.
Yeah.
But I will say Gabriel, and admittedly, he'll say this himself, isn't a colorist. So there's a lot of things that he did in issue 1 that just Sergio's like, that's not how coloring works. He's like, that's not how this works. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, fair enough. I get it. I was like, just do your thing. Once again, have fun.
Yep.
That's kind of what I want my artists to do.
Yeah.
So it did end up, it does have a very different feel, but there's still some hints of Gabriel in there. But yeah, we hired a whole new colorist. So we have a dedicated colorist who did an amazing job too, I think. Very, very proud of how it turned out.
Yeah, you should be. It is visually stunning. And the story is awesome. So let's kind of get into it before we pull up the actual Kickstarter, because we want everyone to know how they could get their hands on issue 2. Can you just give us like your elevator pitch for Artificial before we jump into the Kickstarter for anybody who is not familiar with it?
Yeah, so I'll give you two pitches.
All right.
Um,
Good.
Mainly because at cons, this is what I've been saying, is we've kind of, you got to really take advantage of their small attention span, of humans' small attention span. So like I've kind of gotten it
Especially at a
down to
con.
one set. Yeah. One sentence for like, oh, what's artificial? I'm like, Vincent van Gogh versus AI zombies. That's it.
That's it.
And 9 times out of 10, people will be like, what? And
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, okay, cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
And I got them. So the one sentence works.
I like
But like on the Kickstarter itself, I kind of gave an elevator pitch of, um, three unlikely heroes are called from the past to help humanity rise up against their future AI overlords. It's kind of, it's wordy, but that's basically the premise of the whole IP.
Yeah.
And if you'd rather just a nice quick thing, it's Vincent van Gogh versus AI zombies.
Yeah.
Just nice and fun and simple.
Nice, fun, and simple. I love it, man. Well, let me pull up real quick the actual Kickstarter and let's just take a gander because it looks awesome. Bear with me. Might take me a
Yeah.
second to find it. But yeah, when you jump in, man, and you read issue one, and then when you get issue two in your hands, I won't say it's jarring. There's definitely a lot of similarities, but you could tell immediately. I was like, "Whoa, coloring is a little different here." So I'm glad I asked that question because
Yep.
it is stunning. But anyways, here's issue number two. 36 page, incredible adventure. That follows these three individuals. Can you kind of talk to that a little bit? Because I've become like this big M fan, dude. She is hilarious.
Yeah, she's my favorite character.
Yeah.
And I was talking about that with we're trying to put her in fun. Okay, so it's basically this, eclectic trio of traditional artists that have been brought from the past into the future. So it's a fish out of water type tale. Um, but I chose Leonardo da Vinci and Vincent van Gogh very intentionally. That was always planned for this story. I wasn't sure who the third was going to be. It kind of took me a long time to figure out who I wanted. I discovered Marie Cassatt, who is technically a contemporary of Vincent van Gogh. She did more portrait drawings, just actual like individuals. Um, and I read up on her a little bit, and I'm definitely giving her like a Southern Belle quick-witted vibe, which isn't 100% who she was in real life, but she definitely was like very strong and independent and had a very like go get 'em attitude based on everything I've read about her.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of just, obviously embellishing upon that, and it's allowing for some really fun interactions between the three. I'm so glad I brought her into it. And I was telling that to my to Gabriel. We were going over a couple of the scenes we have written for three, some that you've seen on two, where we love the interaction between the two of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, honestly, I'm having more fun writing M than I'm having writing Vincent. Just because I think I actually relate to her more than anyone else in the whole story. So yeah, I that's our trio. So obviously everyone knows Leonardo da Vinci and Vincent van Gogh. A lot of people have done the whole like, who's this? At Marie Cassatt, which, fair enough. She's definitely not as popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just a female contemporary artist, a contemporary of Vincent van Gogh, same time period.
Yeah.
Lived in the States, came over to Europe and France and studied there for a while. But yeah, that's our trio.
Awesome, man. Well, it's an amazing trio. They all work off of one another very well. Um, I will say Leonardo da Vinci is kind of on his own path, doing his own thing throughout everything.
Yeah,
Vincent
a little
was
bit.
kind of in the background going, "What the hell do we do next? I don't know if I want to do anything at all." And then
Yeah.
is kind of there prodding him to make moves she thinks he should make. I just think they work so well together, and your ability to get that across within those bubbles, Chris, is incredible, man.
Good. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's been so much fun to write. It's been kind of easy to write, honestly. Like yeah.
Such a unique story. All right, let's jump into it. Again, here's a little bit of the background that you kind of gave us. And I thought maybe we could get over some of these covers. Can you kind of talk to this one?
Yeah. So that's the standard edition cover. I'm gonna task you. You might have already seen me post about it on Twitter and whatnot, but do you know what this is an homage to?
I personally do not know.
Okay. So issue one, you don't need to obviously go to it. I don't have one readily available, unfortunately. I should have. But issue one is an homage to The Evil Dead by Sam Raimi.
Mm.
It's one of Gabriel Fonseca's favorite movies. That's the homage of the cover, the standard edition cover, and anyone can go back and look at that. Um, we're kind of keeping a very similar trend of like the whole point of this series is I call it a love letter to human creativity.
Mm.
I don't know how many you caught. I kind of want to make it a contest at some point, how many references people can find in issue two, because almost every page has a reference to either some kind of pop culture event, some
Ah,
kind of classical painting.
yeah,
There's tons of stuff in issue two. We did a little bit in issue one, and then when we went in issue two, we're like, let's just go balls to the wall and
yeah.
just really fill this with fun Easter eggs that I hope people find. So this is similar in that issue one was an homage. Issue two, one of my favorite movies of Sam Rockwell is a movie called Moon.
Mm,
This is just a basically a direct
yeah.
version of the cover of that movie.
Oh, wow.
And if you're not familiar with the movie,
Yeah,
I highly recommend to go watch it immediately. If you are familiar with the movie, after you read issue two, I think you'll actually know that it wasn't just a an homage thrown out there for no reason.
yeah.
There's actually some tie-ins to the subject matter of Moon and this.
That's awesome, man. The cover looks awesome.
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, and then there's the good old propaganda edition. So similar to issue one, we are going with the theme of having two versions of the comic. So, a lot of times people will have a alternate cover or 17 alternate covers. And basically what we decided to go with was an alternate cover that when you open it, it's more than just a pretty picture on the outside.
Mm,
So if anyone's familiar with Artificial One, if you're not, the Propaganda Edition is basically a black and white version of the standard edition, but with a splash of color in like very meticulously placed spots. We kind of it's kind of a labor of love after we're done with it.
yeah.
And once again, it's an homage. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with it, but there's a painting called I believe it's called Son of Adam, where if you might not get it immediately from this, but I'm sure everyone's seen it. It's a guy with like a bowler hat and an apple just floating in front, a red apple just floating in front of him.
Yeah.
It's a pretty popular painting, slightly like abstracty. So that's what this is an homage to.
Nice. That's awesome cover, man. I love the grayscale.
Yeah. And then here's just a little tease of the interior.
Nice. Incredible. Visually, this thing is stunning.
We definitely played around with like, panel placement
Yeah.
like this, making the bubble that transports them the panel. That was a lot of fun, kind of conceptualizing.
Incredible. Yeah, man.
I don't have much commentary, just I'm
Even
just looking
the
at it too.
Yeah, you just got to appreciate it. Even like I said, the details in the beards between both of them is pretty amazing too.
Yeah.
And did a really good job. There's some pages that are very light and kind of almost scream at you, and then there's a lot that are a lot darker where you
Yeah.
start to feel the emotion of things about to happen, which I thought was a really good play on the colors, which shows that your colorist really had a kind of an understanding of the story and
Yeah.
the way that it should be colored based upon the writing structure, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, that's one thing that definitely benefited us. Gabriel did it fairly well in the first one
Yeah,
with like
absolutely.
separating the entire book with
Hmm.
like a certain color palette in the beginning and then a different color palette at the end. So
Yeah,
he had a lot of similar ideas of like, let's really emphasize some of these themes with color. But then
right.
when you bring Sergio in the mix, who's just a professional colorist,
Yeah,
yeah, he had so many cool ideas of like, all right, this is dark. I'm intentionally making this dark. We're really using the silhouettes here. So it was really cool. It was really fun working with him.
very, very cool. Beautiful,
And the
beautiful.
propaganda edition, so you can kind of see what I was referencing. So it's
Yeah,
gray tone with a splash of color in certain little areas. We kind of went a little heavy-handed on this one compared to issue one, if you're familiar with it. Just there was a lot more, once again, because of the colors was so good. There
yeah.
were a lot more areas where we're like, let's make this color stand out too. And this one, it was hard to pick them.
Yeah, yeah, no, it came out awesome, man. And again, here is that grayscale. Gorgeous, man. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, man, it just pops.
It's just a different vibe.
It is. I love it. And when grayscale is done right, I think grayscale is some of the best art, especially when
Yeah.
you have splashes of color to emphasize what it is. There's this other comic book, Keisha Demon Eater, and it's all in grayscale. But then whenever someone's murdered or slashed or something like that, there's a splash of red that almost
Oh
pokes
yeah.
you in the eye, right? Because you're just reading grayscale, grayscale, and boom, it just hits you. And I just when it's done right, it's awesome. And
Yeah.
really, if you look at this, it's done right.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some of the rewards here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have the two covers, the propaganda edition and the standard,
Yep.
the bundle, which
Yep.
makes a lot of sense. And then can you kind of talk to what you get in this enhanced bundle? There's quite a bit here.
Yeah, so the enhanced bundle is kind of our big daddy that comes with a lot of stuff. So it comes with all of the add-ons, which obviously you'd have to go to the next tier, you'd have to back it, see all the add-ons, but they're all kind of shown here. We have a sticker pack, we have a collectible metal pin, we have a t-shirt, which I was gonna wear it, but I didn't wear it today. I have it, we had it printed, so they're nice. I love them. So we have a t-shirt, we have a poster of a very trippy page, one of my favorite pages of the book that
Full
I
spread, right? That we saw.
y-
Full spread.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just can't show you that though. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a big spoiler,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I certainly don't want it, but it's amazing. Let's just say that.
once you get to it though, you're gonna want it on your wall. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what my thing was my head was saying to me. I'm like, I want this to be available as a print, but I can't show them what it is. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a hard pitch. Um, anyway, so trust me, you're going to want it. It's awesome. So it comes with all that, obviously the physical and digital versions of everything. And then lastly, your face in the next issue. So I did this with Indiegogo. We had a second chance campaign for Artificial One, and I offered a tier like this, and I think about three or four people took advantage of that. So
Oh,
they're all in this issue. And what I would like to say is Gabriel is fantastic at just copying people's facial expressions, really getting the essence of who they are. I will say, like, if you get this tier, you're not going to be, disappointed in how you appear in the comic. It's going to be awesome.
yeah.
And as an example of that, feel free, if you don't mind, to scroll all the way up back up to the examples. There's a reason why I put the specific first page in there.
Okay, the first page.
Yeah. So that zombie at the bottom was one of the people who got that tier on the Indiegogo.
This one right
I don't
here,
have,
the middle.
yeah, so I don't have the reference readily available, but let me just say it looks just like him. Basically, this teenager's dad bought it and
Ah,
asked to put his son in it. And man, is it like Gabriel killed. I kind of told Gabriel as a team, we were looking at it and we're like, I don't want him to be some, shadowy version of himself in the background. So let's put him at front and center of the horde, guarding the streets of San Francisco.
yeah.
And so now you got this awesome profile picture. I hope he uses it as like a profile picture for all of his socials because I'm sure because it's pretty sweet.
This
But
is
anyway,
very sweet.
this is like the level of quality we're going to kind
Yeah.
of bring to you. So, issue three, I have a section of basically the survivors, and I haven't really, this is a bit of a spoiler, but they're in this area where there are some survivors, and you would be one of those that would go on a big hunt
Oh, wow.
with three main characters. So we have 10 available, technically nine. Someone just purchased one not that long ago.
Nice.
So if you want to be in on the comic, I would highly recommend you pick this one up. It's a pretty good value because after everything, Gabriel putting you in the comics, not really. I'm not paying him that much on top. Once all things are said and done.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so I'd highly recommend you pick it up. We only got nine left, so get it while it's hot.
Nice. I love it, man. That's such a good idea. All right, now we're to the stretch goals. So it looks like we've surpassed a couple, huh?
Yeah, we got the first one. I put that up right before Otaku Fest, which is cool. And
Nice.
then I left on Otaku Fest and I didn't really have the ability to really edit anything here. And I think it was like the day I got up to the hotel, I looked and we crossed 750. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you're gonna have to wait for the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, 750. So everyone, including digital, get PC and phone wallpaper packs. So the PC packs or PC wallpaper will be, obviously for your desktop computer, and it'll be some of the really cool double page spreads that we've had so far. And
Yeah.
then along with like iPhone and Android backgrounds that have been custom made by Gabriel to kind of, accentuate it on a phone. It looks really cool. And then what I'm hoping, like this is my favorite one. We have some really cool ones planned additionally, but I've been wanting to do the parody magazine prints for a while now. Where it's basically it's going to be like Men's Health. We'll have Vincent van Gogh on the cover, and it'll just be like Vincent van Woe, and like it's going to be very quirky and silly, but it's going to be like poster prints that you can put on your wall. Obviously, Marie Cassatt will have her own.
Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci will have Science Today. I might call it like Science a long time ago, like in a little. So anyway, we're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Um, and I've been wanting to do these prints for a while. I figured it'd be best suited as a stretch goal. So please help us get there because I want to get them done.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. Then we talk a little bit about the team. There you are, Chris.
There
Uh,
I am.
here's Gabriel.
Yep, there's
Incredible
Gabriel.
artist, man. Incredible. Here's
Yep.
Sergio, who
Yep.
to that next level. That's amazing. And then you're doing the lettering?
No. So Gabriel did lettering obviously on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
He's continuing. The first one was his first time doing lettering,
Mm-hmm.
and he just did such a good job that he basically built a personality for artificial within the letters. And I said, I'm not going to do something different in the next one. I was like, I love what he
Yeah.
did so much that now he's the letterer as well. So he inks it, sent it off to Sergio. He makes it pretty, and then back to Gabriel for letters.
Nice, nice. That's awesome, man.
Yep.
And a little bit of the reviews on how everyone loved issue one, which it was
Yep.
awesome. Even just the how you came up with this story is just absolutely incredible. Which I love, man. So yeah, incredible. Still a lot of time left. So we have what, 18 days was it? Yeah, 18 days. Plenty of time. You're so close to that next unlocking. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, we got to push this out because I think once people get this in their hands, they are going to be so excited when they see, especially issue two with all the art and the colors and the storyline. Because it really starts moving quick in issue two, right? You're setting kind of the foundation in issue one. You're getting to know the characters. You're starting to understand why they're all there. They're starting to understand why they're all there. And then issue two jumps right in, and all of a sudden, man, it's like every time you turn the page, something new has happened to them, and they're in a new environment, and they're trying to figure things
Yeah.
out. And M is hilarious. Probably doesn't even mean to be hilarious, but she's just hilariously making comments, and Van Gogh just
Yeah.
rolling his eyes. I don't even understand what you're saying. I don't understand Leonardo. I don't understand you either, man.
Yeah, I read that one after we were done, and I looked to my wife and I was like, I just laughed at my own writing. Is that
Yeah.
pretentious? And she started laughing. I was like, it just made me laugh the scene. So yeah,
Well, we'll
I
make
loved how it
sure
turned
we.
out.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. We'll make sure we pump this out to everyone, Chris.
I
This
hope so. Yeah,
deserves
thank you.
everybody's. Every comic collector should be getting that copy of this, man, because it's that good. And then I assume there's an option to pick up issue one again with issue two in that.
Yep, on the add-on page, whenever you back the comic, obviously it'll take you to the add-on page, and you can add issue one, propaganda version, standard version, just the digital. So like we have whatever helps you get caught up is easily available.
Beautiful, my friend. Beautiful. Real quick, people that want to follow you, how do they do that on social? And yeah, any of the next Comic Cons that you're doing over the next couple months, if
Yes.
you want to kind of share where you'll be, if people
Yeah.
if they could come visit you.
So we got lucky and we have basically all of our socials are BentBox Comics. So if you want to see Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, anything, just at BentBox Comics, and you're, no spaces or anything, and you'll find us.
Nice.
So please follow us. We have a bunch of cool stuff. We try and post pretty frequently, different updates. Kind of what we said earlier, we have a handful of people writing for us now, and so we have a bunch of content that we're trying to push out. So it's kind of going to be a big year for us. At least that's our plan. So definitely follow us. Cons, yeah, I got more. Even though I'm tired, I got more. So we did take a nice break, thankfully. So basically June is a break. July we're going to be in Tallahassee. Basically, we're just hitting Florida, kind of
Okay.
getting our feet wet in the Florida market, mainly because Florida is so freaking massive. It's easy to kind of hit different areas without even overlapping. So we're going to be in Infinity Con in Tallahassee, July, I believe, 5th and 6th or 6th and 7th. I can't remember, but it's that weekend, the first weekend in July.
Hmm.
And then we have Sarasota Con, obviously in Sarasota. That's going to be in August, early August. We are currently waiting approval for Tampa Bay Comic Convention, which is massive. I didn't realize how big this thing was, and the guest list is nuts to the point where like I hope we get in just so I can go say hi to the guests. Like
Yeah.
that's going to be my main thing. Um, and then we might have one or two by the end of the year, but we'll see. After that, we kind of just have a lot of plans for building audience.
Yeah.
So we kind of did boots on the ground stuff this year, for the first half, and then the second half, we're kind of planning on doing a lot of digital marketing. Doing a lot of digital sales is another goal because it's just a little bit easier to spread that word,
Hmm.
you know, to different parts of America, to the world. So kind of keep your eye out there. And speaking of, I haven't really made this announcement yet. I'm not sure when this goes live, but basically, I'm going to make an announcement this week that BentBox Comics is kind of following suit with a couple other people. We're planning on going pretty much all in with the application Global Comics. I
Oh.
love what they're doing there. To be fair, some of the people who announced they were doing the same, we already thought of doing this, but now I'm late to saying it,
Yeah, yeah.
and now I'm annoyed. I'm just kidding. But we're planning on going like kind of all in. We're gonna really push digital sales. We're gonna try and have exclusives available on Global Comics day one, maybe even some straight to market titles that just bypass Kickstarter altogether, and you're just gonna get the book digitally when it's ready. So big plans coming for that. I'm going to make an announcement later, but
Nice.
kind of this is a pseudo announcement that keep your eye out. Follow us on Global Comics. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to have a lot of stuff on there.
That's awesome, man. Well, Chris, congratulations on Artificial One. Congratulations for meeting your goal on Artificial Two. Still plenty of time to get to that $2,500 reward area. So
Yeah.
we got to get the word out. This comic you will not be disappointed on. Anybody watching this, trust me, Artificial One is amazing. Artificial Two is even more amazing. And I think you're going to really love it. And everything that you'll see at the end of Artificial Two with everything BentBox is doing, this is definitely going to be the publisher you want to follow. But Chris, thank you so much for stopping by again. As always,
Yeah.
you're always welcome, my friend. Really enjoy speaking with you and catching up with you. But thank you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your week and weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's always fun to come hang and just let me know whenever you want me back and I'll be here.
Sounds good, Chris. Thanks again, man. Appreciate you.